Good morning, friends. How are you? It's Hannah here at Barkman, and I am so excited to spend this morning with you. Today, we're going to read some great books about imagination. But before we get started, let's go ahead and sing a song and do a dance and get all of our energy out. So go ahead and stand up with me. And the lyrics are in the comments below, so if you want to follow along, sing with me, dance with me, you can read the lyrics in the comments, okay? Is everyone ready? Is everyone standing, getting their wiggles on? All right, let's talk about how we're ready to read fun books about imagination today, okay? If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, stomp your feet. If you're ready for a story, stomp your feet. If you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, stomp your feet. Are you doing it with me? Okay, we're gonna turn around this time. Ready? If you're ready for a story, turn around. If you're ready for a story, turn around. If you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, turn around. All right, I'm a little dizzy. Are we ready? Do we have all our willies out? Are we ready for story time? If you're ready for a story, take a seat. If you're ready for a story, take a seat. If you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, take a seat. All right, great job, friends. So we're all seated and ready to go now. Got all our energy out? Are we ready to read some books about imagination? We have two great books today, and when you think of imagination, what do you think of? I love to imagine all different kinds of adventures I can go on. I could go and ride on a lion across the universe. I could go in a spaceship into the stars. What things do you like to imagine? That sounds like a lot of fun. Imagination is a great thing. Let's read a couple books all about imagination and some characters who use their imagination today. So the first book we have here is A Beach Tale, and it's written by Karen Lynn Williams, and it's illustrated by Floyd Cooper. And thank you for Boyd's, Mills, and Kane for letting us read this today. What do you think this book is about? We have a boy, looks like he's on a beach. I wonder how he's going to use his imagination. Let's find out. Swish, swoosh. Gregory drew a lion in the sand. See the lion? It's a pretty great lion. Has a mane, all the hair around it. A sea lion, Dad asked. A sandy lion, Gregory said. Sandy needs a tail, said Dad. Gregory picked up his sturdy drawing stick. Don't go in the water and don't leave Sandy, Dad said. I won't, said Gregory. Dad sat down on the dolphin towel under the blue umbrella. There they are with Sandy the lion. You can see Gregory and his dad. I bet Gregory has a great imagination drawing a lion on the beach. Look what he's doing. Swish, swoosh. Gregory drew a tail. He did not go in the water, and he did not leave Sandy. Sandy's tail got longer until Gregory came to a purple jellyfish. See the jellyfish right here? He made a loop around the gooey blob. So did Sandy's tail. Swish, swoosh. Gregory came to the mound of an old castle washed smooth by the waves. He went up and over and down. So did Sandy's tail. But Gregory did not go in the water, and he did not leave Sandy. Sandy is getting a long tail. Can you imagine a lion with such a long, long tail? Sandy's tail got longer until Gregory came to a horseshoe crab. He made a big zig and then a zag around that old crab's pointer. Sandy's tail went zigzag too. Swish, swoosh. Gregory came to a giant hole. Gregory went down and up. So did Sandy's tail. See that? A horseshoe crab? And Sandy's tail is going all around it. My goodness, I think this might be the longest lion tail ever. Swish, swoosh. Gregory wrote his nickname. G-R-E-G. Greg. Sandy's tail got longer. Suddenly, a wave snuck up onto the sand. It tickled Gregory's toes. Gregory jumped back and traced the lacy wave line. Sandy's tail made a wavy line too, but Gregory did not go in the water, and he did not leave Sandy. Do you see Gregory's nickname here that he drew? Can you tell me what those letters are? I have a G, R, E, G. Wow, very cool. He's making a lion in the sand. Now he's drawing his nickname. Swish, swoosh. Sandy's tail got longer until Gregory came to a jetty. He heard a loud roar. Do you think it's the lion? Do you think Sandy came to life? Gregory looked up. A giant wave crashed on the rocks. The spray splashed Gregory. It wasn't Sandy, it was the big waves coming up against the jetty. He turned around to look for Dad. Uh-oh. What now? Where's Dad? I see Sandy's long tail, but where did Dad go? Uh-oh. What do you think is going to happen? Okay, let's find out. Swish, swoosh. Gregory followed Sandy's tail. He followed the wavy line. Swish, swoosh. He turned his nickname backward. G-E-R-G. He went around and around the deep, dark ghost crab hole. See, his name's backwards now when he follows it this way. G-E-R-G. I hope he finds his dad. Maybe if he keeps following Sandy's tail, he'll find it. Swish, swoosh. He went down into the giant hole and up again. Zig, then zag. He went around the horseshoe crab's pointer. Uh-oh. Gregory looked down the beach. No Sandy. No Dad on the dolphin towel under the blue umbrella. But Gregory saw the mound of an old castle washed smooth by the waves. Swish, swoosh. He went up and over and down. There was Sandy's tail and in a loop around the gooey purple jellyfish. Oh, phew, he found Sandy's tail. Okay, let's keep following it. Swish, swoosh. Gregory followed the loop, and then he came to Sandy. Uh-oh, there's Sandy. Where's Gregory's dad? Gregory looked up. There was the blue umbrella. There was the dolphin towel. Dad waved. Sandy has a long tail, he said. Yay, I'm so glad Gregory found his dad. Seems like his imaginary lion did a great job helping him come back with his long tail, huh? I didn't go in the water, Gregory said. But Sandy got wet, he added. Dad held Gregory's hand. Let's get wet too. All right. What a great story. I am so glad that Gregory found his dad and that he was able to imagine such a long tail for his lion on the beach. How much fun. Are you ready to read another story about imagination? Should we read one more? All right. This one's called The Power of Henry's Imagination by Sky Byrne and illustrated by Nick George. And this one is being read with permission from Simon & Schuster. All right, what do we think this story is about? We see Henry, and we see a cute little rabbit that Henry has. I wonder how his imagination is going to be powerful. Let's find out. Okay. Henry's favorite toy was a rabbit called Raspberry. Raspberry was white with floppy silver ears and a red nose that looked just like a raspberry. Sometimes Henry was sure that Raspberry smelled like raspberries too. See Raspberry? And I see some yummy raspberry jam down there. So there's Henry and Raspberry enjoying some food together. Henry and Raspberry had been together a very, very long time. 5 years, 3 months, and 11 and a half days to be exact. Grandpa had given Raspberry to Henry the day Henry was born, knowing they would have many adventures. You see Grandpa right here? Everyone could see how much Henry loved Raspberry. From dawn until dusk, they did everything together. Do you have a friend like that, where you do everything with them together like Raspberry? So fun to have friends like that, isn't it? One morning, Henry decided to take Raspberry to the veggie patch to teach him how to dig up carrots. But Henry couldn't find Raspberry. Uh-oh. Henry looked for Raspberry in all the usual places, like underneath Grandpa, on top of the lamp, and inside pillowcases. But Raspberry wasn't anywhere. This is like Gregory's dad. Where did Raspberry go? Oh my goodness. Then Henry turned his whole bedroom upside down, but even that did not unearth Raspberry. Henry was starting to feel worried. Oh no, I wonder where Raspberry is. Henry got his mom and dad to help him search the whole house for Raspberry. By the time they finished, the place was a huge mess. And they still hadn't found Raspberry. So they looked all around the house, under the couch, under Grandpa, in the pillowcases. Where could he be? With tears sliding down his cheeks, Henry went to Grandpa, who was sitting in his favorite armchair reading one of his favorite books. What do you think Grandpa's favorite book is? I wonder what book he's reading. What book would you be reading? Grandpa, can you please help me find Raspberry? I've looked everywhere. Grandpa put down his book, pushed his glasses down his nose, and leaned forward. Henry, Grandpa said in his warm, knowledgeable voice, if you've looked everywhere, then there is only one thing left to do. What do you think Grandpa's going to tell Henry to do? You must imagine that you have Raspberry back. Imagine I have Raspberry back, Henry repeated, wiping away a tear with the back of his hand. Yes, Henry, it's very simple. You just have to imagine that Raspberry is with you in this moment. Interesting. So Henry's going to use his imagination and pretend like Raspberry's there with him. Then Grandpa sat down and started reading his book again. There he goes, reading his favorite book again. He didn't say another word. Since Grandpa knew more than anyone else who had ever lived, Henry decided the best thing to do was follow his advice. Do you listen to your grandpa or your grandma? Do you listen to your parents? They can be pretty smart, huh? They might have some good ideas. I hope that this works for Henry. And so Henry began to imagine. All right, let's see the power of his imagination. Let's see what happens. When Mom called him for lunch, Henry imagined that he and Raspberry were explorers climbing a mountain. They got caught in a terrible storm and found shelter in a cave. Raspberry had to cook a can of beans for them to eat. Do you see them? Whoa, in a cave away from the snowstorm. And Raspberry's making some beans for them. That sounds pretty fun to be an explorer climbing a mountain, doesn't it? When Dad sent him outside to play, Henry imagined that he and Raspberry were pirates on a ship full of rare treasures, steering their cargo through crocodile-filled sea. Whoa. See the crocodiles down here? And look look at all that treasure, all that cargo they have. Wow, they're explorers, they're pirates. What else are they gonna be? Ooh, I see some space here. When he went in for dinner, Henry imagined that he and Raspberry were astronauts sent into space in their flying saucepan to count all the stars in the universe. There they are in their flying saucepan. Whoa, have you ever flown in a saucepan? I never have. They're gonna have to count all the stars in the universe. That's so many. They're having so much fun. When he went to get ready for bed that night, Henry imagined that he and Raspberry were dragon catchers, walking silently through the forest as they searched for the mysterious purple dragon. Wow. You think they're gonna catch the purple dragon? That's so cool. They've done so many things together. Henry had so much fun imagining his many adventures with Raspberry that he completely forgot Raspberry was lost in the real world. In fact, when Henry went to bed that night, he fell asleep as quickly as he did when Raspberry was in his arms. There he is sleeping. After a long day of fun with Raspberry, but Raspberry wasn't there. Henry had imagined so many fun things for them to do. Wow. Later that night, Grandpa heard a knock at the door. It was Malcolm, the mailman, and he was holding Raspberry. He found Raspberry. How cool. I found him lying on the path, said Malcolm. I would have missed him if it weren't for his silver ears shining in the moonlight. Well, well, well. Imagine that, Grandpa said with a wink. I'm so glad that they found Raspberry in real life, too. Malcolm the mailman is great for helping them find Raspberry. And Grandpa said, imagine that. Imagine that. There goes Grandpa turning off the light. And what do you see here? What's different about this picture from last time? Can you tell me? That's right. Henry has Raspberry again next to him in bed. Now Henry has the real Raspberry and his fun adventures that he imagines with the imaginary Raspberry. And look at that. Raspberry is no longer lost. He's been found. Tell Henry. Well, that was cool. I'm so glad that Henry was able to still have a fun day imagining time with Raspberry. So that's what I have for you today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a fun day thinking all about different things, imagining different adventures to go on, and I want to hear all about them, okay? Next week, make sure to come back next week. Next week, we're going to read about autumn. So we'll read about the season that we're now currently in, okay? Sounds good. I'll see you next time. Have a great day, okay? Bye.